From having grown two seven-figure businesses and one that runs without me, also having ushered our clients to seven figures over the years, there are some codes that I would say are important to crack. And these common mistakes to avoid that will help you with cracking the code to seven figures with more ease and flow. I sometimes get asked, like, why would you want to have a seven-figure business? I'm satisfied with a six-figure business. But a six-figure business can be a painful business because once you hit a certain point in a six-figure business, it can feel like you are carrying a lot of the weight and responsibility on your shoulders. And when you aren't there, people aren't being helped. If something unexpectedly were to happen, and for you or someone in your family, and you needed to attend to it, then money's not coming in when you're not there. So there are some risks to continuing to mainly have the practice be all you practically. And sometimes, have you ever felt like even though you have a team, it kind of feels like you are still a one-man show? Have you ever felt that way before? So that's where sometimes it can be painful while having a six-figure business. And so having a seven-figure business, sometimes those things that were like bumps in the road while it's a six-figure business, they end up getting smoothed out when you're a seven-figure business. So here are some of the common mistakes to avoid in cracking the code to seven figures as a holistic health practitioner. This applies to you if you are an acupuncturist, a chiropractor, a naturopathic doctor, functional medicine practitioner, or holistic MD, DO as well, or health coach. So mistake number one is trying to grow the practice from the rearview mirror. So have you ever had this desire of, oh, I would love to double. I would love to double my income, or I would love to double the people we're helping, or I'd love to double my income. And then feeling like, oh, that's like, it feels like double the responsibilities, and I can't imagine that. And so one of the things about this is that many times a mistake I see is looking at what have I done to get to this point in my practice, and let me just do it better and then try to double it from that perspective. The truth is that the structures that got you to this point in practice aren't the same ones that will get you to the next stage of growth, and especially seven figures. So instead of doubling from the rear view mirror, chances are that if you already knew what to do, then you would have already gotten there. And so part of it is, how can you double from the perspective of a looking ahead perspective, and instead of a looking back and what do I do to double that? Because that will just feel a lot harder doubling in that way. The second biggest mistake I see is putting your head down and working harder. So many times in the success of growing a six-figure practice, you've had to work hard, and you got to this point because you have worked hard. You're seeing patients, you're busy, you're seeing clients, you're busy, but putting your head down and working harder won't necessarily translate into doubling to multi-six or seven figures very easily, and especially seven figures, because there's a capacity that you're going to hit. There's only so much time in the day and only one of you to go around. And so the harder you work, you're likely going to burn out. I was talking to a practitioner the other day, and she was saying, I can feel it. I am on the path to burnout, and I don't want to be in this place, but I'm already there. I wish I did something about this before, but I feel so burnt out. And so what I've seen sometimes is get burnt out and then feel really jaded. Like there's not much that can be done to pull yourself out of the burnout. Or you could already see yourself getting progressively, like if you go down this path that you are right now, that you will get burnt out. And so it's good to be a little bit ahead of that, so that you're not in this place where you're so burnt out that you don't have any energy to even consider, what should I do? The third mistake that I often see and to avoid is to look at, let me just do what I do better. As long as I continue to do things better incrementally, then I'm going to be getting to that next level. And that works up to a certain point. But the thing is, the structures that got you to 250K aren't the same ones that will get you to 500,000, aren't the same ones that will get you to 1 million. In fact, the structures that got you to 100K practice will likely break down as you are growing to 250K. The structures that get you to 250K will likely break down as you get to 500,000. And the structures that got you there will likely break down before you get to over 1 million a year practice. And so then knowing that can give a big sense of peace. I know that when I was at that place where I was at a plateau at 500,000 a year, I just felt like, oh my gosh, I can't imagine double the responsibility. Right? It's like, I would love to be making 7 figures, but I can't imagine double the responsibility here. I'm working long hours, and then it just felt like it would be tough to double the responsibilities, right? But the thing is, it doesn't require doubling responsibilities. In fact, a minor shift can actually lead to a quantum leap. And what are some things that can catapult things into having a quantum shift? One of them is to look at your practice from a different perspective than doubling. What is your 10x plan? What is your 10x vision? What is your boldest vision that is in alignment with your highest purpose and that you are really passionate about, and that is the best expression of your talents and your strengths that you get juiced up about, and you really feel like you're behind, and you are a part of a bigger movement than just seeing more patients and seeing more clients and taking good care of your family and yourself. So what is that? What is your 10x vision? What is 10 times the impact, 10 times the flexibility, 10 times the people you're helping, 10 times the income, 10 times the freedom? So whatever it is important to you, and then work your way backwards into a doubling plan, then everything falls into place more easily. It's no longer like growing your practice from the rearview mirror. And in fact, many times when we work with our introverted visionaries, mastermind clients who we are fast tracking growth to multiple 6 and 7 figures, the introverted way, in a 3 to 4 year time frame, many times when we actually map out their 10x plan, they are blown away. They're like, I've never thought about it in this way before. And this huge expansiveness opens up, because many times it's not one of those things that we easily see just from our own perspective. And so it's something that is really helpful to be having a great mentor who can really see that for you and co-create it with you. And then we actually work our way backwards into a doubling plan of, okay, so what are we focused on this year? What do we focus on this year, whether it is to get you to multi 6 figures, or what is it that we're focused on this year to get you to 7 figures? And then what are you doing? What are you doing in January? What are you doing in February? What are you doing in March? So that way, it's not just something that stays a dream or desire, but it's something that that's actually like it starts coming into fruition. And the thing about it is that you don't have to, because for some of you might think about this, you might be like, I don't know that I would want to 10x. Right? I'm not sure about that, right? But that's totally okay. It's just a matter of, have you ever gone there before, right? Let's go there. Let's actually go for what would 10x look like. And then even if you just doubled it, would you be happy? Even if you just doubled it. So that's the way to look at it. So for those of you who are at a place where you feel like you're at a plateau in your practice, you just feel like something's bubbling up inside you, where you feel like you're capable of so much more, and you have this expression of you that's waiting to be expressed, and your gifts and your strengths also expressed at a whole other level than it is right now. Maybe for some of you, you would love to be teaching and educating more. For some of you, you may want to travel more and also see the world more too, while still influencing, helping patients and clients. And for some of you, you may have a desire to reach more people outside of your practice, the walls of your practice, like in terms of you might have a desire to offer things that are helpful to people, and maybe are even automated or bring in another stream of income that helps support people with their health, and it also brings in another stream of income for you. Do you have the right business model for this next level of growth in your practice. Because what got you to this point is not necessarily the right business model for you in this next level of growth and aspirations. And also that fits in with your lifestyle. Because many times as we start our businesses, we don't always think, like, our first thing is just like, oh, I would love to be busy with patients or clients. And we don't think too far ahead of what it would be like when we actually have a lot of people we're working with or helping. The other thing is that, do you have systems and structures that support growth and that pull you forward? Or are you feeling like you're having to constantly figure things out or reinvent the wheel? Do you have the right people on your team to support you with growth? Or do you have people on your team who it's like you feel like they're not quite the right fit? Or maybe you don't have people on your team yet that you feel like is the best to really help support this next level of growth for you. And do you have the right seats on the right bus too? Because maybe you really like the people you're working with, or you like whoever you've hired, but maybe their strengths don't match up with what's expected of them in the role. And then maybe you have this big vision, but then you don't have a good way of bringing a consistent flow of patients without it taking so much of your time, or having to spend money on ads or SEO or other kinds of things. Or maybe you have a practice that is filled up, but your associate's practice isn't filled up, right? These might be some holes to plug. And these are areas that when you do actually plug them, then you will see your practice accelerate in growth, and you'll feel more fulfilled, and you'll feel like there's more ease and flow as you're growing your practice. And it'll also be nice to be able to have the money to show for all the hard work that you put in, and be able to put more away towards retirement, be able to buy those things without having to look at the price tag or think about it twice. And it's like, oh, I would love that. No problem, I'm getting it. Oh, this would be really great for my kids. Oh yeah, let's just get it for them, right? So that's the kind of feeling that would just be wonderful as you continue to grow and help more and more people. So if you're in that place, feel free to go to introvertedvisionary.com, book a free chat with us, and more than happy to see how we can help you with growing your practice faster and with less stress. To you, changing the face of healthcare on this planet to be more integrated, and to you waking up the planet and helping more people who need you,